iterators. There are two types of iterators that we have. The first one is the for loop, the other is the while loop. Right? We do not have do while, but we can create do while in Python. Okay. For now we have for loop and while loop. Okay. For loop is a collection based loop. So we have seen yesterday that we just need to pass the collection, and based on the collection for loop starts executing. So if there are 5 items in the collection, for loop will run for 5 times. If there are 10 items, then it will run for 10 times, right? Based on the collection. Using range, we can minimize the iteration. Iteration is each execution, right? So if there are 5 items, it runs for 5 times, but using range, I can make it 3 or 2 also, because starting index and ending index can be given. Right? Otherwise, it starts from beginning and go till end. Okay. We have while loop, which is condition based loop. Okay. We have while loop, which is a condition based loop, right? In while loop, what we do, we provide the condition to start the loop, the condition based on which the loop will execute, and to stop. So there are 3 things that we provide. First is the initialization, how to start. Second is a condition based on which it should decide whether to continue or stop. And the third is the handling the condition, right? So okay, so let me create a list. If I want to go ahead with while loop implementation, right, the first thing we have to do is initialize. So how many times we need to run the loop in order to print all the items? 5 times, right? And from where we should start? We should start from 10, right, which is nothing but index 0. So I is 0. This becomes my initialization. Next thing is a condition where we put while. What is the condition? When we should stop? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I should be less than equal to 4. Right? And within this, we started the block of the code. With colon, we start the block of the code, right? And within this, we can put L of I. Right? Now, what will happen if I execute this code? I is 0. 0 is less than equal to 4. True or false? True, right? So it goes inside. Print L of 0. L of 0 is 10. Goes back to the loop because there is nothing more There is no other code after print statement, right? So it goes back. What is the value 5 now? 1. How it became 1? What is the value of I? I was initially 0. So after first iteration, what is I? Is it still 0 or is it 1? We did not increment. How it became 1? It is not 1. It is still 0. Right? So 0 is less than 4, true. Goes inside, again print L of 0, which is 10. Right? Go back to the loop again. What is I? Still 0. 0 less than equal to 4, true. Goes inside, print L of 0. L of 0 is 10 again. Goes back. What is I? I is still 0. Right? So I is never incrementing, which means if I execute this, it will go to the infinite loop. It will never stop. Okay. That means handling the condition is very important in while loop. If you do not handle the condition, then it can become an infinite loop. Clear? Okay. So this is your initialization. This line is the condition, and this is handling the condition. Which is very important part. If you do not handle the condition, then while loop will never stop. It becomes an infinite loop. Because at some point of time it should stop, right? Now let's say if I want to print in the reverse order. If I want to print in the reverse order, then what should I do? From where should I start? What is I? What should be I if I want to print in the reverse order? I can be, you are telling for -1 and 4. We'll go with both the solutions. For first we'll start with -1. If I is -1, what should be the condition? I starts with -1 until where it should go? -1 -5 till -5 it should go, right? That means it cannot be -6. If I becomes -6, will stop. So what should be the condition now? Less than or greater than? -1 is greater, right? So greater than -6. Print L of I, and I should decrement. Okay. Oh, for you it is, you are telling I should be 4, right? If I is 4, then what should be the condition? 4 means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the index. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So we should go till 0. Right? So what should be the condition here? While I should be greater than equal to 0, right? Or you can give greater than -1 also. Colon print L of I equal to I minus. See, both gives me reverse. Approach is different, output is same. Okay, any other logic? How to reverse a string? We can do using loop also, right? So you can do using loop also, right? How to do it? I should be last item, right? So length of L minus 1, while I is greater than equal to 0, keep printing A of I, and I should be I minus 1. Length of A, sorry. Right? We are starting from the last index. Last index is always length of L minus 1, right? And then we are checking the condition until it reaches to 0. Keep running the loop, right? And within that we are putting the print statement with the logic to every time after every run decrement the value 5. For giving input at runtime, you have to ask from the user. So here you have to put input of enter the word. Clear, right? Now if I want to print this in the same line, now every time print statement is doing a new line, right? If I want to print in the same line, then we have to overwrite the value of end. By default, end goes to the new line, so we have to overwrite with space, empty space. Clear? Any other logic to do the reverse? One logic is that we are starting with index -1. The other is we are starting with the last index, index 4. Right? Any other logic that we can do? We can also start with I equal to 0 while I is less than length of L, print L of I and I equal to I plus 1. So this gives me, does it give me in the reverse order? Alright. If I put it here, length of L minus 1 minus I, indexing is starting with 0, but we are printing length of L minus 1 is 4, 4 minus I, 4 minus 0 is 4, right? 4 minus 1 is 3, 4 minus 2 is 2, 4 minus 3 is 1, 4 minus 4 is 0. So the value of I is increasing, that expression we have created, right? So when I is 0, we want to print the last item. When I is 1, we want to print the second last item. So when I is 0, we want to print L of 4. When I is 1, we want to print L of 3. Right? So without manipulating the condition, we are now manipulating the expression in the within the index. Okay. Is that clear? How do I print this? The concept wise, it's very simple that we have initialization, condition, and handling the condition, right? Now, to understand logic, we cannot teach, right? So logic will come once we do some kind of practice. So for that, I've given the assignment yesterday, right? Try using for loop, and today you can start with the while loop also. All these two assignments, and then compare what is the difference between for and while loop. Will anyway, tomorrow we are going to do one program to understand the difference, but start practicing. Initially, it might happen that solving one problem statement is taking a lot of time, right? But after doing couple of examples, it will start reducing because you know the approach, right? For loop, yeah. For loop is something like a for each loop of other languages. For x in the collection, and then you can write your logic. Here, how do we print this? How many times we need to run the loop? If I want to print this, how many times we need to run the loop? 4 times, right? What should be the value of I initialization? I should be 0, or you can make I is 1 also. If I is 0, then when it will stop? 0, 1, 2, 3. So it should be less than equal to 3, right? Print. When I is 0, how many B's we are printing? 1, right? So it's I plus 1 into B. And then increment. We can also write I equal to I plus 1 or I plus equal to 1. Okay. Now it is N. So now we are hard coding, we are not hard coding the value, it is based on the user input. Okay. Clear, right? So based on this, similarly, try out the other questions using while loop. Okay, clear? After this, as part of logic building, we have conditional statements, if else, right? And then we'll also see that how to use for loop, while loop, conditional statement together. So we'll create some program where we'll try to use all of this nested for loop, nested conditional statements, right? And try to understand. But please spend some time today on practicing this. Right? Without practice, it will be tough. So at least practice whatever assignment I have given yesterday, both with for loop and while loop. Okay, recordings are available in the drive. Go through the recording and try to practice. If any doubts, you can ping me.